my great-grandfather purchased this property. We have lots of memories on the land around us, and I'm very grateful and feel very blessed to be here at our family farm.
I grew up out here in these woods. I know every single tree. Our property is located between Flint Hill and the Monocacy River.
We have been here 44 years. We grow everything from asparagus to zucchini.
So we live in the Lansdale community, which is in Monrovia, Maryland. It consists of 1,500 homes, mostly families with children. A lot of the community backs up to woods and Bush Creek, and most of the views from Lansdale you can see Sugarloaf Mountain.
So this is a 650-acre farm that has been in my family since 1950. Yeah, it's the soul of our family.
We've lived here almost 20 years. The house was just a few years old when we bought it. It was one of the last houses built in this area, really in a very beautiful, protected space.
We were looking for something that was off the beaten path, that was a little more rural. We thought this was going to be our forever home.
It is really hard for many people to understand, what it feels like to be waiting all this time for a corporation to come tell you whether they're going to take your land or not.
It doesn't matter if it's a small property or a large property. To find some industry thinks it's okay to destroy all of that to benefit someone other than us. I don't understand. I can't comprehend that, and we can't allow that to happen.
We're hearing this news from our neighbors. It's not like we're being contacted by this corporation that plans on taking our land.
But there are ways to do this that don't involve destroying the natural world around us.
I would invite them to come out and see what it is they want to destroy.
This definitely feels like a David and Goliath type situation.
I feel like this is sort of a David and Goliath story, and right now Goliath is seeming pretty monstrous.
Okay, my name's Joanne Frederick. We're in Freeland, Maryland, which is in northern Baltimore County. I am the co-founder and currently serving as the president of the board of directors for StopMPRP Incorporated. We created a nonprofit organization to bring the residents of Baltimore, Carroll, and Frederick counties together to fight the taking of our land for a new high transmission power line. The Maryland Piedmont Reliability Project is, at its core, a 70-mile, high-voltage, 500 kilovolt transmission line that will run on 140-foot towers through private property to connect Pennsylvania to Frederick. All of this destruction across 70 miles of farmland and homes and businesses and forests, all of this destruction is largely to power data centers.
The house that we live in, built that house out of the wood from this forest.
I first came out here in 1988. I was 14 years old, and I was starting to date this guy, and I just fell in love with the place. I met Frank and Terry, and they were just so warm and wonderful, and we started spending a lot of time out here.
This piece of property was just a raw piece of woods. There wasn't really anything here when we first came out here. We knew that we wanted to be in the woods, and this was a perfect spot. It was a 40-acre chunk that I could afford, adjacent to the river and Park Mills Road, so just a really good house site.
One of the most important parts of this farm is the history that it has in our family. Lippy Brothers has been farming in Maryland for many, many years, now multiple generations. This farm that we're on is where they were all born. That alone, it gives me so much legacy.
We've lived in our home for about 3.5 years. We kind of built it from the ground up. And it's one of our favorite places to be is really hanging out in the backyard. So
We've lived here since 1989, so 35 years. I hike the farm every day. I feed my chickens, I feed my pig. I still have 2 cows. I had a huge vegetable garden, still do in the summer. So the land to me is really everything.
My name is Betsy McFarland, and we're at our home in Adamstown, Maryland. We lived before in Rockville, Maryland, and we wanted to move out here, kind of more to the countryside where we could really enjoy the natural space around us. It's just gorgeous with the forested space behind us.
It was the moment that we saw this lot that I think it was the one thing that drew us to it.
My husband and I moved up here in 1980. My husband's family has been going back 4 generations on the Stoker farm. Now it's 2 of my 4 children that are involved in it.
This was the farm when we purchased it. I was 12.
My father was building this place when I was young. I remember coming out here when it was just a construction site here where this house stands now.
My grandmother and my grandfather. My parents.
We feel that we're stewards of this land. We're keeping it for future generations. I find it impossible to stomach that Maryland will still see this farm as preserved land while also allowing power lines to go through it. That's beyond the pale for me.
The impact of the MPRP is a bit difficult to quantify, honestly. It is catastrophically destructive to many farms across the 3 counties. And then we move to people's homes. People's homes are in the path of this project.
If this project is approved and they construct this power line, it will be a situation where when we open the blinds in our bedroom in the morning, we will see the power lines. With the windows open, it's going to be close enough that we will hear the power lines. I just don't know how we could stay here.
I thought PSEG said they weren't going to go through anybody's homes. This forest is my home, and now they want to go right through this forest. The house is just where I sleep. The rest of the home is outside of those doors. By destroying those trees, you are destroying my home.
This is corporate greed. They're looking for the quickest, cheapest route, and they don't care what happens in its path.
Once land is gone, it's gone.
Why can some company come in from out of state and start building across our wetlands, our steep slopes, our creeks, our streams, our rivers? They're going to destroy this place.
I think every Marylander has a stake in this. Every Marylander will feel the impacts of this.
I don't know if anybody should really feel safe.
Outrage. You are going through some of the best soil, farm ground, preserved, natural resources that northern Baltimore County has to offer.
Throughout all of Maryland, I think about the hundreds of families and farmers who are going to be impacted by this.
I mean, I'm sad because, it's coming so close to this house and through these woods, but I'm sad because it's 70 miles of unnecessary destruction.
I don't think that the people that make the decisions about these things really know how much it affects people.
A lot of people have put their farms and their land into conservation trusts or agricultural trusts. It seems like all that means nothing now.
I guess everything I thought I understood about how so much of land use management works has just been thrown out.
We're not saying no power, no future technology. We're saying let's do this in a way that's smart and sustainable and responsible.
Frankly, it's disgusting to sit in a boardroom and to draw lines across a map and not truly recognize the impact that that's going to have to people's lives. Maybe at the end of the day, they don't care.
It makes me angry that people could be so thoughtless and careless and go right through sensitive environmental areas.
I'm raging, anger, really angry, and I'm ready to fight, and I'm devastated.
We built our house over on the sorry.
I guess I look at it now as, yeah, it broke my heart. It's the end of all of this that we were taking care of, but
One of the most important takeaways is to understand that people who own 1 acre, 150 acres, maybe 1,000 acres somewhere, that's your space. And to have people come in with a project that doesn't benefit you, the pain that you feel in fighting for what is yours and what you have worked very hard for, we need to stand up for our property rights and our personal rights and not allow this type of thing to happen.
Even though these power lines won't be going in your backyard, they could be in the near future.
This is our livelihood. If we don't stop it here, it's going to pop up in another area and it's going to be affecting another group of people.
We're not giving up. We will continue to fight on this.
We're gonna fight till the bitter end.
This sets a precedent. And if we allow a company out of New Jersey to come into Maryland and take our private land for a transmission line for which the easement they will own forever and make money off of forever, it's a precedent we can't let happen. This is about all of us, and we need to stick together to make sure it doesn't happen here and it doesn't happen to you next month or next year.